Hello. So today we'll discuss about the rules. It's a part rules of nomenclature. This is part of the chapter, the living world. Like in the living world, it's about biodiversity, taxonomic categories. So in biodiversity is basically variety of life forms. Then taxonomic, there are some categories. So there are living organisms. So for these living organisms, we need to uh, we need to give a specific name, so that name system of naming, that is called nomenclature and identification. So nomenclature, that means binomial nomenclature, it includes two components, the generic name and specific epithet. So here are some rules to write the nomenclature. So firstly, biological names, they generally written in Latin and italics. So they are Latinized or derived from Latin irrespective of their origin. Now then, so the first word in a biological name represents the genus, and the second component or word denotes the specific epithet. This is a term given to those words. Specific epithet is the name, it's a term. Then both the words in a biological name, they should be separately underlined. If we are writing it, they should be separately underlined, or if it is in printed form, it should be in italics. Then the first word denoting the genus, it starts with the capital letter, or you can say uppercase letters. Capital letter or uppercase letters like A, B, it should be in uppercase. Then second word, this is with a small letter or lowercase letters like this. Then after the specific epithet, there comes the name of the author. That is at the end of biological name, and it's written in the abbreviated form. Abbreviated means like short form. They pick the first three letters of the author. For example, it was Carolus Linnaeus. He gave the system, so we'll pick, the name was Carolus Linnaeus. So we'll pick the first three letters of this. Now let's say if I take the example of Mangifera indica, I'll write in italics Mangifera. This is the scientific name of mango. Then I'll underline it. First word is capital. Second word like starts with lowercase letter. Then if I need to write the author in front of it, I'll write it like this. And it indicates that this species was first described by Linnaeus. So now it's very difficult to give name to every living organism. If we see practically, that's not possible, because there are number of species, number of living organisms, there are millions of living organisms. So practically it's not possible to give name to every living organism. So to make this process easy, then here comes the system of classification. So classification is the process by which anything is grouped into convenient categories based on some easily observable characters. Just by looking, you can make out, by looking at the appearance, you can make out in which category it should be classified. Let's say, for example, if I talk about a school, now let's say there here 3000 students are studying here. Okay, and now there are a number of students there. So let's say these students they're going to any teacher. Let's say here we have block A, first, second, third, four different classes. They're going to any class and just getting studied. There's no identification which is first class, which is second, and which is eighth, which is ninth and 10th. So they're just going randomly and studying. So now to see there are different age groups. Some will be of 1 to 7 years, some might be of 8 to 13 years, some might be of between 14 to 16 years. So now if they're just going to any teacher randomly, so it will be a haphazard to identify which from which teacher they are studying. It will be difficult to recognize different class groups. So now what to make it easy, what we did, classification. We classified these students into different classes from 1 to 7. Let's say they are between class 1 to 6th, then coming to after that 7th, 8th, then 11th, 12th. So we classified them, classified them into various classes. These classes are basically what? Categories. So similarly, in the case of living organisms, now we need classification. So we easily recognize groups such as plants or animals. Plants, then come animals, dogs, cats. We know which are dogs, cats, and insects. So if I say the term dog, by appearance, by physical characteristic, you can make out that this is a dog and this is not a cat. Okay, then this way. So let's say we were to say mammals. Think of animals with external ears and body here. Mammals. If I say the term mammals, you might know external ears, body ears. So this is, let's say, in case of plants. If I talk about wheat, so in case of plants, for example, let's say wheat. So the appearance will be of wheat, not of rice or any other plant. So these are basically categories to study organisms. So the scientific term for these categories is taxa. So taxa indicate categories at very different levels. Plants also form a taxa. Wheat is also a taxa. So dog is a mammal, then mammals are animals. So animals, mammals, and dogs, they represent taxa at different levels. So categories, here categories means that organisms are grouped. So we'll classify these characteristics on, on the basis of their, so we'll classify on the basis of their characteristics. So here the process taxonomy is basically is what taxonomy? It is the process of classification. So now what comes like under the basis of taxonomy? Here we have studied about characterization, identification, classification, and nomenclature. So taxa, if I say the term taxa, this is plural, and if I say taxon, this is singular. Like if I talk about living organism, let's say we have amphibians, like all water loving organism, frogs, then a swarm of fish, then all these water whales, sharks, these all comes under the category or taxa of amphibians. Then talks about, if I talk about birds, this is a different category, like aerial. So then birds, this is different category. If I talk about terrestrial beings like mammals, like then there are dogs, cats, this is a different category. Okay, so these are basically what taxa categories. So it's like so till now we have studied nomenclature, then identification, then comes classification, and after classification there comes categories, and what is the scientific term for category? That is taxa. So after taxa comes the term systematics. So systematics is what? Okay, systematics will study after this session. Okay dear, thank you.